Dear Queen, we've seen you cross over the threshold of greatness. You are courageous, holding your crown in a world that tells you to sit down, be seen, but don't speak. You are unique, breaking ankles and glass on #1 draft, making moves and points to guard the visions from your heart as you take charge and stand tall with the ball raised high in your court. And for that we applaud and support. This is for the girls with hoop dreams and those respectfully on their team. Welcome to Protect Our Queens.
This is Protect Our Queens. You know, we got to protect our queen, Olivia Miles. You know how I feel about this one right here, Fish.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I have such a respect for the feel that you have for the game. So the first thing I really want to ask you is like, what have been the inspirations behind your game as far as people you've watched, people you've studied, and how do you feel like you've developed that feel for the game?
Yeah, ever since I was young, I always loved watching either Steph Curry or on the women's side, Sue Bird or Diana Taurasi. And I really just modeled my game and picked apart their game and tried to add it to my arsenal. But recently, I really love Trae Young, and I just love his game, and I love his style of play and how his range is like Steph Curry opens up so much more, and such a versatile passer and sees the whole court, and just really both of their game I really like want to model my game after, because they just can do so many things that they're a threat on all sides, and it's really fun to watch, and I love making the game fun. I don't like that, pass around the arc. I just like that, kind of style, and obviously not too crazy, but still adding some flash. So it's a lot of fun to play and watch at the same time.
You make it sound modest, but like Fish, you and I both know this. She got the hand, this joint, she got all of that, bro. I'm telling you.
Hey, I just know the first time I pulled up when you guys are facing Numa and Goretti, the first thing I saw was the and I was like,
light work. Yeah. Tell me about Notre Dame. Like, how did that? Because let me say this too. I didn't know. I know you had offers and people looking at you, obviously, and stuff, but I didn't even hear rumors about where you were going or top 5 this or nothing. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I was keeping tabs. I was waiting to hear. So,
yeah.
What was that process like?
I really didn't outwardly express my interest in schools. I feel like a lot of people knew what kind of schools I was looking at in terms of academics and stuff, because my family and I made that very known that we wanted that first and then basketball second. So I feel like that was the only really information we put out about schools I was looking at, except this one ESPN article. The guy asked me what my top schools were, and he wrote them down. That was the only time I think I officially came out with a list of schools. I've always loved Notre Dame. I just loved watching their team, their style, the culture. And when I visited around this time last year, I was like, yo, I could see myself here instantly. I was like, I love it. And I loved Coach McGraw, but I feel like the head coach now, Niele, she was on the staff before she went to the Memphis Grizzlies. So I feel like her and I had a deep connection already. And with Muffet, I loved her, but I felt such a more deep connection with Niele. So I was like, okay, let me just check out my other options. And I was looking at Stanford and UNC pretty heavily throughout this whole year. I was actually just praying about it. I was like, give me a sign that I'm choosing the right school. And then I get a text from Coach McGraw that she's like, hey, we want to still make sure Notre Dame's the right place, but I want to let you know that I'm stepping down and stuff. And I was like, oh, who's going to be the coach? And then I heard, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is my sign to go to the school. Once I committed, the alumni network and people who have gone through Notre Dame, and even their Notre Dame being their dream school, were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. People will have these people who went to Notre Dame who are in contact or are connected to it in some way will always have your back. And it was the best day of my life, because the amount of support and positivity, and everyone's just so happy, and you could just see, that I really did make the right choice, and the feedback was incredible.
You touched a little bit about inspiration and the alumni network and everything like that. So what we want to ask you is, who are your top 5 queens? It doesn't have to be basketball. It can be anyone at all. Just who are your top 5 queens that have been inspirational, big to you, anything?
Oh, that's a good question. Top 5 queens. Definitely my great grandma and my mom. And recently I've really been in touch with Skylar Diggins, and she's been helping me a lot. So definitely her. Some of my friends, I don't know who, but they know who. They've really been supportive of me through my whole journey.
You gotta name them, girl. You gotta give them credit. You gotta give them the credit. Come on, queen.
One's name is Tess. She's always been there for me through all of my basketball career, and then has always supported me and loved me. I would say Neo, for sure, because she's just like the amount of like power and like her personality and her voice and what she wants the culture to be and how she wants to run things and how she wants to speak up. Something that I was inspired by right away. Like, obviously I've only known her for like a year and some change, but in that time, like, I've been moved by her in like immense ways that I just can't, like, even like couple weeks after I committed, we've been talking, like, we've known each other forever. Like, it was like so easy, and she's like a mentor to me, and I'm just really grateful that, like, not only her, but I have all those 5 people that I listed in my life who have always supported me and loved me and been there for me no matter what.
What would be if Olivia Miles was named the head of not just the WNBA, just women's basketball? Like, they just wrote you a check, like, yo, we need your ideas on what we got to do to get the women's game going. If you had unlimited resources, what would be some of your ideas to continue to increase the exposure of the women's game?
That's a really good question, because, like, what I go back to is Kobe. I go back to Kobe because he, like, as you know, he was really heavily like into the WNBA, and his involvement was increasing, and obviously Gigi, and she was going to be a future star. Women, we are doing the same amount of physical activity. We are putting a lot of physical stress on our bodies in the same way that men do. Every game we work hard, we do everything. It's unfortunate that we can't do the things that men can do, because obviously we would all love to dunk. You could ask any person, any girl that, and they say yes, we'd love to dunk. And like, what I love about like you guys, Overtime, like Slam, all these are just like putting it out there, like social media, just like putting it out in people's faces so they can see, like, oh my gosh, like, we can break angles too, we can like hit deep threes too, like we could do all this stuff and make flashy plays. And another reason why I love to play the way I do is because people are drawing more attention. It's more fun to watch. It's not that, pass around the arc, like I said. It's more entertaining. Either do like podcasts or like videos or articles of just explaining that, like, we work just as hard, and there's a lot of things that we do that you guys don't know about, like behind the scenes. Like, same thing, like, we're always working hard, and we have so much like IQ and everything. We love to play with each other, and it's just so much passion, and you should really like take the time to invest in it, because we're working just as hard.
Some of the players in the WNBA were asked the same thing, and one of the ideas, I believe it was Elena Delle Donne had, was to lower rims. A lot of people spoke out against that. They said we don't want to, make it just different for us. Did you have any thoughts on that when that first came out, or do you have any thoughts on that now, or?
I don't know. That would mess up shooting and everything, right? Like,
Yeah,
right.
That could mess up a lot. Like, but obviously, if it gave the girls more opportunities to like make highlight, like flashy, like dunks or like alley-oops and stuff.
That's basically what it's for.
Yeah,
that was the idea.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope. I would love that. I would love to see girls dunking more, because like, it's not every day you see a girl dunking. Like, you see it on Instagram and like, you're like, oh my gosh, like, everyone's hyping it up. How do you guys feel about it? Like, you would like to see girls dunk, or
like, I don't think y'all need lower rims to make it more like, I think it's perfectly fine the way it is. Like,
It's literally just to please the casual fans. It's not to please actual people who love hoops. Like, because the people who love basketball like watching it as it is.
that's why I'm like, okay, like, if I hear like on Twitter, like, these randos saying stuff about girls basketball, I'm just like, you have no idea. Like, you're just not in our shoes. That's why I'm like, I don't bother with those people, because like you said, the people who truly love hoops, like Kobe and all these guys, like they understand, so that's why they're showing their support. Like if Kobe thought it was bad, he wouldn't show up. Like that's simple, like, you know.
How would you advise people to develop that part of the feel of the game when they may not necessarily have all the flashy athletic other attributes?
I feel like just by playing a lot. Like that's what I've learned. Like playing, and like I'm very thankful because my trainers have always had that, like, you know, section at the end of the training session where you just play games. You just play games, play games, play games, and you get involved. And that's where I've really seen like windows and like certain patterns in the patterns in the defense and the help and how they move. And I guess like, yes, like I was born with like talent, and I'm very grateful for it. That I could see things very fast, but I've also worked very hard and putting myself in situations where I can see certain things, like, oh, don't throw it there because she's going to move there. Or for someone who is looking to improve that, just get in more games, just read more situations, speak to people who like me. Like I'm always open, like for other girls to always talk to me about like how to do things better, or like talk to people, put yourself in games. And like I'm so grateful that I was born with that ability, because I just like I love the way I play. Like I feel like everyone at some point is like a scorer, you know. You always have those people who can score, put the ball in the hoop, 40, 50 points. Like I feel like that's the main goal of basketball, just to put it in the hoop. But I feel like there's just so much more in my eyes in terms of making everyone around you better, or seeing another teammate score and then you then making a connection. Because, you know, if I just take the ball down, dribble 4 times, shoot the ball, okay, good for you, but how did that help your other teammates, you know? So I just think about it in that way.
And who was it? Was it Jason Williams that said you can make a lot of money passing the ball? Who are your toughest players that you've had to guard?
Diamond Johnson,
Oh Lord.
definitely. Diamond Miller. I think those two are the only ones I remember being like, oh my gosh, like anything I do, like I just can't, like, because I don't. You guys were at the Newman Grady game, right?
Yeah.
They probably ran like 6 screens for her, and it was like so hard to get around. And like they would always just like go there, then pass to the point guard, and just pass it back to her, and then rerun it, and then she would just get an open bucket. She would like had like 40 points against us. Like it was like crazy. But definitely her. And Diamond Miller is a different story. Like she's insane. And also London Jones. I don't know if you know London Jones, but we played with each other at USA, and just that whole training camp was so like, she's such a good defender, and she's such a tough point guard that she was hard to play against. But probably those 3 were probably the toughest I had to guard.
What do you feel like you want to get out of basketball? Like I know you want to be a pro. To me, you're already on pro level, and you're gonna get there. But just out of the game, you're maturing now. You're seeing people like Maya Moore and her impact with what she's done with a great career, obviously. But she's taken that and done other things. So how do you see yourself? What do you want to get out of basketball? Seeing like what it can do in society.
Opening up camps. Like I just want to open up camps, or like be a trainer to just help other people like learn the game. Or I was telling Neil this the other day, I was like we need to like work as a team to really use our voice, like especially being people of color, like women of color. Like we need to like find ways to speak up. So I continue to build my platform so I can use it to use my voice. And obviously basketball is not the end all be all, so I'm very grateful to where it has taken me. And like you said, I obviously want to play pro. Like I want to go travel the world, like play overseas and see all the amazing things it can take me. But also when the ball stops bouncing, be able to have that platform to like, with my decision to go to Notre Dame, I already have all these connections, so I can just, you know, talk to anyone I need to, and we can do camps. And I already have things in mind about stuff like that. Exposure pages, like just trying to, like, again, podcasts, like trying to really just put the women's game on blast, like really just trying to get it out there. Because like I said, we're all in the same boat, and we really get slept on. And it would be amazing if the WNBA. Not even the salaries. Like, salary is one thing, but just appreciating how we play, and yeah, just using basketball as a way to really help others is what my main goal is, beyond me just dribbling the ball on the court.
Since you're going to Notre Dame, would you rather play at Notre Dame with Skylar or Arike?
Probably Skylar, because Arike is a really good scorer too, like a natural scorer.
No doubt.
So we'd have fun like playing with each other. But I don't know, I feel like Skylar is just so cool. Like, she's just so swaggy. Like, everything she does is just so like elegant, and I just love the way she plays. And I don't know, that's tough. That's a tough question.
So would you rather pass the ball like Steve Nash or Jason Kidd?
Steve Nash. Steve Nash, yeah.
Really?
He was tough. I don't remember who it was against, but he went around the guy and delivered. That was just tough. I was like, dang. He like went around the whole guy just to dime it. I was like, I just appreciate when like little like people can like play well against like these 6'7", 6'8", like monster like guys, and it's just, he's just so crafty and like can get around and get his way.
So would you rather have the point guard play of Dame Lillard or Chris Paul?
Dame Lillard. His confidence is crazy, and also he also can like dunk on people. Chris Paul can't really dunk on people.
Sis, we talking about point guard play. You talking about dunking on people.
No, but it's like also like logo Lillard. Like, he's pulling from the logo to win the game. Like, will you ever see Chris Paul doing that? No.
I thought a passing savant like yourself might lean towards Chris Paul.
Dame is tough. He's tough.
She's trying to pull from the logo and then dunk the next play.
Yeah, trying to get crazy. Yeah.
Would you rather have Magic's passing or Kyrie's handle?
Magic.
All right, that's what I thought.
Magic is different. Do you know the account Filet? He did one of Magic, and it was just like crazy. It was like dude was on the floor, grabs it with one hand, like dots his teammate. Like, he's just so different.
Our last question to wrap everything up here. So, why do you think society needs basketball?
Because it's just more. It's more than that. Like I was saying before, you could use it for so many different things. Like, say you're playing a game against some people who are from a different country. Like, you will still connect because of basketball. You don't have to talk. Like, you don't have to. Like, it just connects so many people. Like you said, society. Like, it connects society in a way where you don't have to use language to form a bond over something you love. Like, you know, it's like, it's a game of basketball. Like, you both know the rules. Like, so what if you don't know the same language? Like, you can still play. Like, it's just, it brings people together, and that's what I like about it, and the places it takes you. And if it wasn't for basketball, like, I probably wouldn't have met all these amazing people or traveled all these amazing places. Like, committed to Notre Dame, where I have so many amazing like alumni network, and you know, it's just so important, and it connects you and connects different people, and that's what I love about it. And obviously, when the ball stops bouncing, using that, not being done, like your mission's not done, like using it further to help people. But yes, I think basketball is very imperative to society because it's just a connector to it all.
Is he like your favorite player ever, or?
MJ is my favorite ever, but
a queen after my own heart. You hear that? Do you hear what's going on here? This is what I'm talking about. This is why this is the queen. That's what I'm talking about.